Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, a shooting at a home. Raleigh police say a homeowner shot a man early this morning. What we know about what led to it.
And we're still seeing temperatures in the 30s heading out the door, but not as cold as yesterday. Still, the wind chill will make it feel awfully cold heading out the door. I'll show you.
And shutdown showdown. We could see a vote later today on a bill to get the government back open. What that would mean for SNAP benefits and flight disruptions. Good morning, everyone. I'm Renee Chu. It is 4:30, and we're glad you're up with us early. You know, North Carolina had the chance to see the Northern Lights late last night. So many of you have sent in pictures, and we want to share one of those. This is from the Carolina Trace Club in Sanford. Look at that beautiful pink glow in the sky. Elizabeth, I think we were sleeping at the time because this kind of peaked around 11:30 midnight last night.
Definitely sleeping. It crossed my mind to set my alarm and get up, but I did not. Of course, those people were brave. It was cold outside last night. Right now, our temperature 36 in Fayetteville and in South Hill, 38 in Rocky Mount and Southern Pines. That is a little bit warmer than yesterday, but it is still breezy. Our wind is shifting to southwesterly today, but right now around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So the wind chill is feeling about like it did yesterday in terms of the temperature heading out the door. It feels like 29 in Fayetteville, 32 in Rocky Mount and Southern Pines. Feels like 30 in Roxborough. Of course, the skating rink was in good company with this cold weather. 39 is our temperature. Our wind southwest at 11 miles per hour. That southwesterly wind will warm us up significantly today. We'll really start to feel it right around lunchtime as we climb to 58, and then highs will be in the low 60s. We'll talk about when 70s are back in our forecast coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. Right now, Raleigh police are investigating a shooting that left a person seriously hurt. Police say a homeowner shot a man on Rose Lane in southeast Raleigh around midnight. Allie Calabar is live at that scene from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Allie, that scene is just started to clear.
Renee, within the past 5 minutes, we've seen that tape start to come down. People here go inside the home as well as the forensics investigators leave. But they've been out here for more than 4 hours investigating, and this is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker of them trying to gather evidence. You can even see them taking pictures of the door there. We know from Raleigh police that a man is seriously hurt. He was taken to the trauma center. We also know that the homeowner here pulled the trigger and shot that man. Now, we still know that this is under investigation. We're trying to figure out what led up to this incident, as well as if the man who was shot and the homeowner knew each other. Of course, we're going to be keeping you updated on this. Reporting live in Raleigh, Allie Calabar, WRAL News.
Allie, thank you. We are now entering Day 43 of the federal government. Actually, let's get to a person is in jail this morning after a fight outside a bar in Raleigh. This happened on Glenwood Avenue near West P Street. Police say 2 men got into a fight and one of them ended up with a cut on their back. Police say nobody was taken to the hospital. They have arrested the suspect. We are now entering Day 43 of the federal government shutdown. It could be ending soon. Today, the U.S. House is set to vote on a stopgap funding bill to reopen the government. Earlier this morning, the House Rules Committee voted on party lines to advance the Senate-passed bill. The House still has to approve rules for debate before it can be voted on by the full House, and that could happen as early as tonight. The shutdown is still causing cancellations and delays at airports across the country. WRAL's Laura Levine is live out at RDU this morning. And Laura, the problems could still hang around even if the government is reopened.
Renee, good morning. Here at RDU, we're looking at 10 cancellations and 4 delays this morning, giving you a live look at the TSA lines. You can say so far things are moving pretty smoothly here. But Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy yesterday urged Congress to quickly pass the bipartisan bill that would end the government shutdown and the flight disruptions that have plagued the country for nearly a week. But if lawmakers don't act fast, officials warn that the disruptions are likely to get worse ahead of Thanksgiving week. So as of Tuesday afternoon, more than 1,200 flights within the U.S. had been canceled and more than 2,000 flights had been delayed. This comes as it's been 43 days since air traffic controllers and TSA workers have gone without a paycheck. Now, barring a last-minute change here, the flight reduction by the FAA is supposed to increase to 8% tomorrow and 10% by Friday. A bipartisan bill still needs to pass the House and then signed by President Trump, who has indicated that he supports it if the government plans to return to full functionality. So here, even if the shutdown ends later this week, the transportation secretary says that the flight system will take some time for it to right itself and get fully operational to back to 100%. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live at RDU.
Laura, thank you. Funding of SNAP benefits for November are still in question. The U.S. Supreme Court has extended an order to allow the Trump administration to continue blocking a full funding of the payments. A federal judge previously ruled the government must give out $4 billion in additional SNAP funding. Last night's decision means the government does not have to do that for now. The ruling expires tomorrow night. The case would likely become moot if the shutdown ends. The bipartisan bill to reopen the government would fully fund the SNAP program through September of next year. We will certainly be following all of the latest developments on the efforts to end the shutdown. For up-to-the-minute news and push alerts, download the WRAL News app. Tuition could go up for new students at UNC system schools next fall. Today, school leaders are expected to discuss the tuition hikes. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at UNC's campus in Chapel Hill this morning. Kelsey, the schools are preparing for funding cuts.
Yes, Renee, thousands of students are already waiting to find out if they've been accepted to UNC for next school year. And today, the Board of Trustees will discuss whether their tuition costs will be higher. Right now, the board is considering a 3% tuition increase for in-state undergraduates. That's the max that's allowed under state law. They're also discussing a 10% tuition increase for out-of-state graduate students. Similar conversations are happening at NC State. They're considering upping their tuition by 3% across the board for both graduate and undergraduate students. UNC has kept the same tuition costs since 2017. The Board of Governors has prioritized keeping rates flat for years. Brian Murphy with WRAL Investigates explains why that's changing.
It's not really an option anymore. We've seen inflation, obviously, nationwide. And state lawmakers here in North Carolina have indicated that they want the universities to raise tuition and that they are planning to cut some of their budget.
So this is something that is not just being discussed at these two universities that we talked about. It could happen at other schools across the university system. Now, we did research the exact tuition costs for those increases at both UNC and NC State. You can find those numbers on WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News. I'm in Chapel Hill.
A person was seriously injured after being hit by a car in Raleigh. This happened shortly after 6 last night on Clark Avenue near Chamberlain and Gardner Streets. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows police on the scene hours after the crash. The driver stayed on the scene as well. We're working to learn whether the driver will face charges. 5 on Your Side has a warning for moms out there. A popular baby formula company is recalling all its products nationwide because of contamination from a potentially deadly bacteria. ByHeart announced an expansion to the recall on their whole nutrition infant formula yesterday. Health officials say 15 babies across 12 states have gotten botulism poisoning tied to the formula. Another case is under investigation here in North Carolina. A mom in Butner tells us she learned about the recall just moments after feeding her 8-month-old baby.
My son was taking a nap when I realized it, and he had a bottle right before he went down. Right now, it's just watching for any of the symptoms, and hopefully it's nothing.
Doctors say parents should look out for signs of paralysis, poor feeding, and trouble breathing. Symptoms can appear a few days after the baby is exposed. The State Department of Health and Human Safety says if you have this formula in your home, please return it or throw it out. The man at the center of a dramatic high-speed chase through Wake County that ended in Knightdale has died. Newly revealed records show Anthony Mingo died 2 days after the chase and crash on October 24th. Mingo sideswiped another car, spun out, then ran into a Knightdale restaurant. At the time, police told us Mingo was in the hospital for self-inflicted injuries. Students at Duke University are calling on their school to reject a push from President Trump requiring political provisions in exchange for preferential treatment in federal funding. About 30 Duke students gathered to encourage their administrators to reject the deal. Meanwhile, at UNC, Chancellor Lee Roberts said the university will not sign off on the deal as written. 4:40 now. Back in the arsenal, the Wake County Sheriff's Office will be armed with tasers after 6 years without them. Why deputies believe it will improve their safety. And healthcare battle. Two of our area's biggest providers are ending negotiations with insurance companies. How certain plans will be affected. Plus, you're looking live at North Hills in Raleigh right now. Today will start off cold. The Arctic air is pulling back, though. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner shows you why we will see a sudden shift and get back into the 60s and 70s.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:43 and it's chilly out there. Definitely going to need to grab the coat or jacket heading out the door this morning. This is a live look at Zebulon and things are looking fairly quiet right here. But I know when I was getting ready this morning, I could hear the wind out there. So it will feel a little bit colder with the wind chill this morning. Temperatures are in the 30s, but not as cold as yesterday. Yesterday we were at or below freezing, but 39 in Durham, 36 Fayetteville, 39 in Garner, 38 in Rocky Mount. The reason for the warm up is a shift in our wind, and I'll explain that coming up in just a few minutes. But you definitely want to send the kids out with their coats this morning with the temperatures in the 30s. This afternoon, it'll feel much more comfortable as our highs climb into the low 60s.
Elizabeth, thanks. WakeMed says United Healthcare will no longer cover Medicare Advantage plans starting this weekend unless a deal is reached. It says UHC withdrew from negotiations yesterday. We did reach out to both healthcare providers. United Healthcare says, in part, WakeMed is demanding a near 40% price hike, including a 30% rate increase. And that would make it the most expensive health system in the Raleigh market. WakeMed says it cannot accept UHC's terms because, quote, they put WakeMed at risk for being able to take care of our community and deliver on our mission of caring for all. You can read more about both sides of this debate on WRAL.com. Another of our area's biggest healthcare providers will no longer be in-network for a number of Medicare Advantage plans next year. UNC Health says it will no longer be considered an in-network provider for Humana's Medicare Advantage, WellCare Medicare Advantage, or Healthcare Service Corporation in the new year. People enrolled in Humana through the state health plan will not be affected. Letters are going out to affected patients during open enrollment. This would be yet another big change for UNC Health patients. People in our area are getting letters warning that its deal with Cigna ends at the end of this month. The two sides are trying to reach a deal before then. If not, Cigna would consider UNC Health to be out of network, impacting more than 60,000 people. Wake County deputies will start using tasers again for the first time since 2019. They were previously removed because they became a liability. But now, just 6 years later, the risk is worth it. WRAL's Destiny Patterson sat down with Sheriff Willie Rowe about the change.
After years without them, tasers will be back on the hips of Wake County deputies. The sheriff's office will get 200 of these Taser 10s. The manufacturer advertises them as less lethal.
We're trying to look at the best resource, again, to contain the situation and reduce the risk of injury.
The department phased out the technology in 2019 under previous Sheriff Gerald Baker. The decision came after a court ruling brought up liability concerns.
Is liability still a concern here?
Well, liability will always exist. The focus is to make sure that we have the proper training.
Current Sheriff Willie Rose says his deputies have experienced an uptick in combative reactions from people, a trend supported by FBI data.
However, we have seen an increase of impaired individuals that we deal with. There has also been uptick in dealing with individuals who are suffering from mental illness.
Attorney Don Blagrove with nonprofit Emancipate NC calls the reintroduction beneficial. She says the technology will need to be paired with quality training.
I would love to see a stronger emphasis on diffusing situations without the need for force.
And that was Destiny Patterson reporting. The sheriff says it will take anywhere from 6 to 9 months to fully implement the tasers. School leaders in Granville County want teens to be protected from weapons. The county public schools are getting 2 weapons detection systems. The Board of Education approved a contract with the company Extract One. The machines, software, and installation will cost the district $224,000. The systems will be installed at the traditional high schools and will be used at the entrances daily. You'll soon have to pay more for Paramount Plus. The company says its streaming plan prices will go up in 2026. The ad-supported plan will increase by $1, so that raises the monthly price to $8.99. The ad-free plan will be $13.99. The hike coincides with investments in exclusive programming, and that includes a more than $7 billion deal to exclusively stream UFC events. People across the country caught glimpses of the northern lights in the sky overnight. Take a look at these pictures captured in South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota. And you can see the colorful aurora dancing across the sky. You could even see it here in North Carolina. Some of you WRAL viewers sent in pictures of the northern lights. We got pictures from places like Raleigh, Wilson, and then also from the coast, Jacksonville and Newport. Just gorgeous, Elizabeth.
It's amazing. Yesterday, Tony Rice, our NASA ambassador, came in at noon to talk about it. And, we're thinking, the chances of it weren't as great as last year when we saw that gorgeous display. And there it went. But he was talking about why it's so difficult to forecast that. It's just hard to know exactly how strong those pieces of energy coming off the sun are going to be. So what a treat last night. It was amazing. All right. And here's a treat. If you don't like the cold air that's with us right now, this high pressure system is going to help us out. High pressure systems rotate clockwise, and in this position, that high is going to start sending the warmth right back in. As a matter of fact, it's already a little bit warmer than it was this time yesterday. No worries for this ice skating rink at Fenton and Cary. They will continue to keep it frozen, but it might be a little bit of a struggle over the weekend. Right now, it's 39. Winds are southwest at 11, so we still have breezy conditions, and temperatures will be in the 30s for the next several hours. Right now, it's 36 in Roxborough and Fayetteville, 38 currently in Goldsboro, and 38 in Cary, 39 in Garner. So almost everybody is in the mid to upper 30s heading out the door. And that is about 5 to almost 10 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. The wind chill, though, makes it feel more like freezing. 32 in Southern Pines and Raleigh, 32 in Rocky Mount, feels like 29 right now in Roxborough. Around town today, feeling much warmer. Our highs climb into the low to mid 60s. That should be nice and comfortable, and the wind should begin to die down a little bit. We have all this warm air that's down here near the Gulf that starts to push back in today. Again, looking at 68 today. We go to Saturday all the way up to 72, and you can see all that warmth moving in underneath that warm front. So that's going to change everything for us. And then the cold front swings through. We'll talk about what kind of changes we may see there. But look at the weekend, 72 Saturday, 75 on Sunday. That's going to be very similar to last weekend. So hopefully you can plan a time to get out and enjoy it. Our normal high is in the mid 60s. Why do we see these ups and downs? It's all about a very active jet stream this time of year. When the jet stream dips southward, the cold air slides in like it did yesterday. And now that jet stream is moving back to the north, allowing all that warm air to come right back in, and will likely stay above average, potentially well into next week. We do cool things down slightly for Monday and Tuesday, but still a little bit above normal.
Elizabeth, thank you. Tech taking over. New computers scare old toys in an iconic animated series. Which films to look for on your release radar? And a cleaning skills test. How bed making, mopping, and vacuum racing came into play last night in Vegas. Oscar-nominated actress Sally Kirkland has died at 84 years old. Her representative shared she died Tuesday morning in California. You may know her from her role in the 1987 film Anna. Kirkland had been in hospice care since last week for injuries she got after falling in October. A first look at the new Toy Story movie. David Daniel has a trio of previews in today's Hollywood Minute.
Hi there, I'm LilyPad. Let's play!
New tech has the old toys fearing for their futures in the first teaser trailer for Toy Story 5. The new film in the iconic animated franchise is due in theaters June 19th.
How do you live?
Well, I live with the confidence if I believe in myself, the money will follow.
And what do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
That doesn't even enter my consciousness.
Maybe it should.
It's fame and fortune or bust for Timothy Chalamet in the latest trailer for Marty Supreme. He plays a young man in 1950s New York determined to do whatever it takes to become a table tennis champion. The sports drama from director Josh Safdie opens in theaters December 25th.
Dogs are very sensitive to anything that throws their routine, like a breakup.
You take Mom as the prince because we broke off.
Merv stars Zooey Deschanel and Charlie Cox as exes whose attempts to cheer up their shared dog just might bring them back together again. The Canine Connection rom-com debuts December 10th on Prime Video. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A bed-making competition, a vacuum race, and a mop relay. The 35th Annual Housekeeping Olympics was held last night in Las Vegas. Hospitality workers from across the country went head-to-head in several competitions. Most of the teams consisted of resorts and Las Vegas businesses. Ahead at 5, a shooting at a home in Raleigh. Police say a homeowner shot a man early this morning. What we know about what led to the incident. And end in sight. Lawmakers could vote later today on a bill to get the government back open. What that would mean for some critical services.